are pointing this out. Listen to this clip right here. It's rather stunning.
How do I feel? I feel totally betrayed. I mean, you never think, or I never thought.
Donald Trump just got some nightmare news. His own voters, the people who put him in office, are walking away right now. And this man, a lifelong Republican, a Trump voter, just said the words no MAGA loyalist ever thought they'd say. He feels totally betrayed because ICE just took the woman he loved. Here's what happened. His name is John Gannon, 75 years old, a Texas businessman, owns more than 1,000 billboards across the country, lifelong Republican, voted for Donald Trump in 2024. And on July 24th, he and his fiancée, Yasmin Suarez Reyes, were at the Houston airport heading to a convention in Las Vegas. They cleared security. And then 8 ICE agents surrounded her. No explanation. They wrestled her into a car and drove her away. She never made her flight. She's now sitting in a Texas detention center.
Detained by ICE at George Bush Intercontinental Airport in Houston in late July.
8 ICE agents swarmed Jasmine and detained her, didn't tell us what.
And listen to how this Trump voter describes his own president's immigration enforcement now. He calls it like the Gestapo. This is a man who voted for this, who wanted the border secured, and now he's begging. Go after the criminals, he says. We're all for that. But leave the moms and pops and the kids alone. I wouldn't do that again, he says. Not after this fiasco.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that again. Not after this fiasco. This is like the Gestapo. I would never have thought the United States would act this way. Go after the criminals. We're all for that. But leave the mom and pops and the kids alone. Love Jay.
And here's the line that should stop every single person who voted the way he did. They are picking up law-abiding people, he says. They're destroying families, destroying jobs. This isn't a Democrat saying it. This is a Republican who cast his ballot for Donald Trump, realizing in real time that the machine he voted for doesn't check who you voted for.
Gannon, out of Texas, who spoke about what happened to his family.
I voted for Trump. I am saying that they are picking up law-abiding citizens. They're destroying families, jobs.
And Yasmin is not a one-off. She got swept up in the biggest month of immigration arrests in the agency's history. In July, ICE booked a record number of people into detention, the highest single month on record. And a growing share of them are being grabbed at airports, people with pending cases, people with work permits, people, in some cases, with no criminal record at all. That is the machine, and it does not slow down.
Of why he was elected in the first place.
There's also, I mean, this is not like isolated case here. I mean, ICE took more than 46,000 people into custody in July. That's a second-term monthly record. So immigration judges ordered 79,000 removals in June. That's triple the December.
But the betrayal these voters feel, it isn't only about ICE. It's about the wallet, too. Because remember the promise, prices would come down on day one. So watch what happens when you ask them a simple question. Does America feel great again? Listen to the answer.
Appreciate the way that we are trying to push our own vision for the country. Watch.
Does America feel great again?
No, not at all. Well, you know, I can get laid off tomorrow, then I'm pretty much homeless. Because, you know, you can't save now. Every dollar you have has to go to gas, groceries, bills, rent.
Does America feel great again?
This is a father talking about his kids. He can't spoil them anymore. He can't get ahead. Every dollar goes to gas, to groceries, to rent, and you can hear it the moment it breaks him. These are not political operatives. These are the people Donald Trump looked in the eye and promised relief.
It's economic conditions right now.
Hurt, very hurt. I try to do, sorry, I cried. I try to do a lot for my kids, and I can't do much.
It's hard, especially as a father, because you ain't got that extra cash to go and spoil your kids. So.
And then came the nightmare number, because while these families are drowning, the July jobs report landed, and it was ugly. The economy didn't just slow down. It went backwards. It lost 23,000 jobs. In the 2 months before it, revised down by more than 100,000. That's not spin. That's the government's own Bureau of Labor Statistics.
This morning, and the administration's best talker
was out to explain.
Let's get to Lauren with the numbers. Go ahead, Lauren.
Minus 23,000. No rebound for the July jobs report. Negative 23,000. Revisions for June, Maria, down by 37,000. May, down by 66.
So how did Trump's top economic advisor explain it? Buckle up. He said, ignore the government workers and ignore a World Cup bump and ignore the teachers who, quote, got laid off. And here's the problem. Teachers don't get laid off for the summer. They're still employed. It was the kind of spin that falls apart the second you say it out loud. And it did.
Jobs created in the months of May and June, Maria.
The weakness in this number were really just two things: government workers and a sort of rebound from all the employment we got from the World Cup, because the World Cup was ending. And so if you throw out the World Cup and the government workers, we actually had a number that was about plus 100,000.
Well, 50,000 fewer government jobs. Did the Doge savings have anything to do with that?
There was some of that, but it was also one of these weird seasonal things where, because there was a lot of snow in the winter, a lot of schools had to stay open longer to make up for the snow days. And so the teachers got laid off in July instead of the end of June. It's one of the.
Now, here's where it gets almost hard to believe. With his approval near 35%, with his own party staring down a possible wipeout, Donald Trump sat down for an interview and threw Republicans under the bus. Voters are angry, he admitted, but not at him. They're angry at Republicans, he said. Not at me, never at me. He is already writing the story where a loss
which is interesting.
Everyone's fault,
but he was asked about Republican challenges in the fall, and here's what he said.
The question is, will they vote? Because a lot of them are very angry at Republicans, to be honest with you. They're
Why is
angry
that?
I don't know. I mean, they're angry at Republicans, but they're not angry at me.
Why?
They're not angry at me, but they are angry at Republicans.
And it's not just older voters. Listen to this young man. He voted for Trump. And the thing that turned him? The wars. Because Trump ran as the anti-war candidate. No new foreign wars, he promised. And then he took the country into a war with Iraq.
Straight up says, Trump said no foreign wars, and he went back on his word, and this voter isn't happy. Let's take a listen.
You promised not to get into any foreign wars on the campaign trail?
That's one of the things that has angered me, is like almost immediately went back on his word.
And then there's this, a UFC fighter, a former Trump supporter, from the exact hyper-masculine anti-establishment world Trump spent years courting. And he went on a huge podcast and said the quiet part out loud. He compared the rallies to something out of history's darkest chapter. He said if Trump told the crowd to grab a gun and go, they'd do it. And the host's response, it's a cult. Now, let's be fair and let's be accurate, because that matters. The government tells a different story about Yasmin. The Department of Homeland Security says she entered on a visa waiver back in 2023 and that her permission to stay had lapsed, so, in their words, she overstayed. Her attorney, who is also a lifelong Republican, says she filed for asylum, held a work permit and a driver's license, and had no criminal record. Both of those things can be true at once. And the administration will tell you the numbers are about public safety, that most of the people arrested had a criminal charge or conviction. That's their defense, and you should hear it. Trump himself has said more than once that he wants the, quote, dreamers to stay. The problem is, what's happening on the ground doesn't match the reassurance. And that fighter I just showed you, he's no saint either. He's been called out for ugly comments of his own. This story isn't about heroes. It's about a promise and who it actually hit.
Love Jasmine. That's it.
It's a tough story, very awful for him.
And I know what a lot of people are thinking watching this. They're thinking, where was this outrage before it was Hey Jess' fiancé? Would he still be cheering if it were someone else's family in that detention center? It's a fair question. Maybe the only reason we're hearing him is that it finally reached his own front door. But here's the thing. That's exactly the point. This was never going to stay over there with other people. It never does. So here's my honest take, and this is opinion. I don't feel joy watching a man cry over the person he loves. I don't think there's anything to celebrate in a father who can't feed his kids. This isn't a gotcha, it's a warning. When you build a movement on the promise that the pain is only ever for other people, the strangers, the immigrants, the ones who don't look like you, eventually the machine runs out of other people and it turns around. The receipts are all here. The regret is real. The only question left is whether the rest of the country is watching before it reaches their door too. If this hit you, do me one favor. Hit subscribe so the next one finds you. We are going to keep following every twist of this because there is a lot more coming. Take care of each other out there, and I'll see you in the next one.